BTMReview.com here with episode 7 of the Retro Rampage podcast. As we were leading up to with the last couple of episodes, Riverman and I are here to talk about Shovel Knight.
Shovel Knight.
I have had a week to spend with this game, and I just couldn't say no to the $15 plunge on it after just unanimous reviews of it and how perfect it was. And I wanted to put my 2 cents in. And as I understand, River has not played it.
I have not played it. I was going to pick it up on Steam, but sad thing is I have a Mac for... Yeah, hiss for all the Mac haters out there. I'm sure they hate me, but it should be coming out on the Mac here shortly, and I do not have a Wii U yet, so I am waiting for also a Wii U version.
Has it been confirmed for Mac?
Yes. OS X
Okay.
and Linux. Yeah, Linux.
Because I think up to date, it's only been out on the eShop for Wii U and 3DS and PC.
Steam.
I do believe.
Yeah, it's on Steam, but it's not for the Mac yet. So.
Well, Riverman is going to be missing out until then, but he's read about it, he's listened about it, he's done all that great stuff, and I have played it, so good enough for the banner. And I wanted to, I know we're about a week late on a couple of some of the reviews online and stuff like that, but you know, I can't say enough good things about it. It's absolutely River. I know you've read about it. It mixes a lot of elements from a lot of classic games, and a lot of people have pointed out the obvious ones. It's got elements of things like DuckTales, where you know you can use your shovel to pogo, like you know Scrooge McDuck would use his cane. It's got elements of Zelda 2 or Link Zelda 2 in the sense that I get it from the towns. You go to the towns and it turns into the 2D side-scrolling town where you can upgrade your magic and your health via sort of the role-playing element that Link had, and it's also got. People are throwing around Mega Man there.
Castlevania 3.
I guess,
People throwing around that too.
Castlevania 3, that would be, I guess, akin to the weapon items. The different items you can get, which are incredible. Mega Man, I guess the music is Capcom-ish, but to me, a lot of the level layouts are very similar to like the way, not the themes, but just the way they're laid out is something akin to maybe a Mega Man. And obviously the Mario 3 nod with the stage map, the world map. And even that within the map, there's like the traveling enemies that'll appear and they'll move around and they'll go to different levels and things like that. So, but the impressive thing, and I read about all this stuff before I bought it, and I could normally just as easily write this off as, this is not original. This is a rehash of all these old ideas. But Shovel Knight successfully takes influence in all these cute little nods all over the place, but at the same time, it presents a product that's totally unique and it stands on its own. And it's just I can't say enough great things about it.
So let's get into the plot. I mean, talk about that a little bit. I mean, what's going on? Is there any sort of storyline to this game?
Well, the plot it complements every other facet of this game, and it's capturing the nostalgia that we all have for all these old retro games that we love. It falls somewhere between, it's this style going around right now with all these games that were indie games and crowdfunded. It's like somewhere between 8 and 16-bit. It's like 8-bit, but it's too pretty.
It is too pretty. Yeah, way too pretty.
But it's so perfect, because without that though, you know, back in those games like Mega Man and some of those 8-bit games, the controllers weren't always great. This has flawless controllers, sweet animations, and like you were saying, all this stuff down to even to the story, it's very retro. The story is good enough. It gives you enough. It serves the platform and it gets you going. It's basic enough. You're this knight, and you know one of your friends got killed or whatever, and you're trying to save. It's very, very simple. It sets you up. You have to go and stop this evil sorceress / witch or whatever, and then along the way you got to fight 8 bad knights. It's kind of like the Mega Man influence there. It's very simple. It gives you a very simple plot structure of here's our hero, here's the bad guy. Our hero has a simple objective to stop the bad guy and a simple motive. And it's awesome. And it's littered all over it with really clever dialogue that cracks me up. Just like a Mega Man thing, every time you approach the boss, they have a little exchange of dialogue. And it's really tongue in cheek, and part of it is kind of nod, like, hey, we're making a throwback game. Like, you know, he'll say something like, prepare for shovel justice, you know.
Yeah, that's great.
Clearly that's not something that I think somebody would have said back in an 8-bit game, but it's something that somebody inspired by an 8-bit game would say, if that makes any sense.
What were the bosses like, though? I mean, what was the difficulty on those?
I haven't beat it yet. I have not beat it yet. I am I'm halfway through it, but I'll tell you this: the game is pretty fucking hard.
Is it?
But it's hard for me to call that a knock, because unlike a lot of games from the NES era, your Ninja Gaidens and things like that, it's because of no fault to the game at all that it's hard, because the controls are flawless, the AI is incredible, the bosses have no pattern, which presents some of the difficulty.
Really?
So yeah, I mean, they have their move set, but it doesn't seem like they have a set pattern at all. It really, basically, if you die in Shovel Knight, it's because you need more practice.
Wow.
And each stage gets progressively harder. And gosh, starting with the third stage, and the levels are long. Mm-hmm. There's 5 checkpoints in every level.
Wow.
And you know, the first 2, it was great because it would let you start from wherever checkpoint you reached. From the third level, you don't get to start from the checkpoints. They just kind of, I think they're just there to basically just show you that, hey, this is how far you're progressing through the level. But once you die, you're all the way back at the beginning. Let's just say I was playing level 3 yesterday, and guess how long it took me to complete level 3?
20 minutes.
Oh, 2.5 hours.
Holy shit.
It was tough, man. And like I said, and I was, with sort of the resurrection of those nostalgic feelings of playing all these classic, simple 8-bit games / 16-bit games, I also, along with that, got the nostalgic feeling of losing my temper.
I bet. I'd be frustrated as hell, man.
I was frustrating because this is one of those games, like we were talking about in the last episodes. We love these retro games because they don't take that much investment, and it's like, okay, I've got 20 minutes free, and that was the case with me. I'm a very, very busy person at this point right now, currently, and so it's like, okay, I'll make room to play Shovel Knight for 20, 30 minutes max before I go to bed, and I can beat a level or something. I ended up staying up till 6 in the morning.
Oh, man.
Because I was determined, but it also gave me that determination the old games used to give me. They'd frustrate me. You know what I'm saying? Remember there's those games where it's like you die and it sends you all the way back, and it's like, I'm going to give this one more shot, and I'm fucking over this game. I'm going to put it down.
And then 7 more shots later.
20 time shots later. And then you're just like, I'm going to beat this. And I stayed up till the sun rose. Jeez. And I finally beat it. And the thing that was hurt, but I can't get mad at it because it's not the game's fault. It kept challenging me to get it right. And it was brutal. It was brutal in its expectations. But, you know, and then when you got to the boss, it's like I got through, when I finally mastered it to where I can get to the end, it took me probably an hour and a half, hour or so to get through the level and get to the end of the boss. But then when the boss killed you, because the third level boss at first is really hard, it's really disheartening when you die by that boss after going through the whole level and he sends you right back to the start of the level again.
Oh, jeez.
And you keep having to, I replayed this level, I swear to you, 40 times. And then it took me, I think I finally killed the boss after getting to him on the 3rd or 4th try. And after the 3rd time, I finally got down sort of a sweet spot of, a tactic to beating him. And then, by that 3rd or 4th time when I beat him, I actually whooped him pretty good. Mm-hmm. So it just takes practice. And with practice, you're going to beat the game, but it's going to take trial and error. And like I said, it's all down to skill. So it's pretty insane in that sense. But the level design is incredible. The animation's going on, just the overall design of it. Like I said, they're taking nods from all over the place. You just gotta have to stop and awe. Like I'll sit there, and sometimes I'll just sit there on a frame and just watch the screen I'm on and how beautifully laid out it is. And there's all kinds of Easter eggs and that you can unlock via like Mega Man or whatever. You'll see little nooks and crannies in the wall. You smack it with your shovel, and you'll open up different openings to treasure chest, because it's got that element. It's got a lot of replay value. You want to collect all the items. You want to find the hidden areas that contain weapon upgrade, new weapons, and the music note sheets and things like that for the soundtrack. And I can't say enough good things about it.
What about the the Kickstarter thing? I know it was the minimum funding goal was like $75,000.
Really?
Yeah, and I think they collected a total of like $300,000, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, Yacht Club Games. I mean, they're the people that made this one. I mean, their stock has absolutely risen, and just the fact of how much support they got on this game. I mean, it's just absolutely insane. And I'm really just glad for their sake that the game delivered. Because, like I said, this should serve as the shining example to indie Kickstarter games. Like, if you want to start a Kickstarter, this is the bar that's set. Because if you push me up against the wall to give it a grade, man, I find it a real hard time not giving it a perfect 10.
Really?
Real hard time.
Wow. And
you know what? I could be the natural critic that I have to be for like the website and stuff like that and give it a 9. But it's really and the only reason I would give it a 9, like if you would have asked me last night 3 hours into fucking level 3, I would have given it a fucking 9 because I was pissed.
Yeah.
But once you beat it, it's like, oh, that was a good challenge. I'll give it a 10. But it's a perfect game. The music, it's using all old school sound chipset, and the music is good. I mean, it could have been anywhere in a Mega Man game when you wouldn't have thought differently. So, and it's thoroughly enjoyable. And I'm looking forward to beating it, but I'm also kind of sad to beat it too, because I don't really want it to end. And like I said, I'm only halfway, and on paper it's like, whoa, 8 stages, 8 bosses, that's not going to be long. Think again, man. It's insane. But I will be brass, and I will say that it is definitely, and I know this is kind of soon, but it's definitely one of the best platformers I've ever played.
Really? And
when I think of best platformers, you think of the mainstays. You think of, for some people, Super Mario 3. I say Super Mario World. You think Sonic the Hedgehog 2. And for me, I think Rocket Knight. These are like classic platformers. I'm not going to say it's better or any of that stuff, especially like a game like Mario World that's just like tops. But, dude, it's probably easily in the top 10. I think it might be in the top 5 best platformers of all time. And I don't know.
What are you playing on, the Wii U or the 3DS?
I am playing it on the Wii U, and I believe the 3DS version isn't going to be getting this add-on, but I believe the Wii U is going to be getting some sort of battle mode add-on for it.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to you hopefully getting a Wii U, and maybe we can test that bad boy out. I'm not sure what that's going to entail, but it's gorgeous, man. It's gorgeous playing a retro-style game that looks like that in full widescreen on my HD TV.
Oh, I bet, man.
It looks insane. It looks incredible. But other than that, I'm looking forward to seeing if there's any other like nods to old games I can pick apart from the game in there as well. But I gotta talk about really quick just the use of control in this game and how perfect it is, and just the fact that it's a shovel. I mean, you are a Shovel Knight, and they implement the use of a shovel perfectly. Yeah, there's the things like the Scrooge McDuck and the hopping on your shovel and stuff, which is just as ridiculous as hopping on a cane. I mean, it can't pogo, but it's so much fun. And if you watch a lot of videos, River, and all the things that you can do, they've left no stone unturned of the things you can do. And the level up and the powers, there's these cool little levels that'll appear throughout the game that will require you to use an item, a relic as they call them in these games, to get through the level. You'll enter the level and there'll be like a lot of jewels and stuff, because you use these jewels and they're currency, and with this currency you can level up your magic, your stats, and all that stuff, which is great. So the money's actually really cool, but it's also a bitch because every time you die you lose some of your money.
Oh, shit.
And then if you get back to the point where you died, your money will be floating there, but I don't believe it's all of it. So it's like, oh, wow, I'm on cloud 9. I'm saving up $7,000 or whatever. You're going to die 40 times. You might walk away with $2,000 by the time you're done playing it. But there's these levels that are sort of like bonus stages that you can only get through using a relic you've acquired, and those levels are a blast. I hope there's more and more and more and more of those. But yeah, it's just a game that keeps on giving. And at first, I was sort of skeptic about 15. I was talking to you about it. $15.
Yeah.
For a game that's kind of designed like an 8-bit game, it's like that's kind of pushing. That's kind of pricey. I totally retract my statement. And actually, that was kind of a bad mentality to have, because that kind of goes against the mentality that we normally have, where just because a game is advanced in graphics and all that great stuff doesn't mean it's a better game. So am I paying for graphics, or am I paying for a quality game?
Well, you're paying for 8-bit beautiful graphics, too.
I'm paying for a quality game.
That,
so
too.
It's the same. I mean, so I would rather pay $50 for this game than pay $50 for the newest shitty Final Fantasy game.
Yeah,
that is probably going to look incredible, but it's going to have no substance anymore. So, yeah, I can't say enough about it. It's a pretty flawless game. So, and I'm going to write up an official review for the website BTM Review when I actually complete the game. Hopefully in the next few days. Like I said, it's pretty punishing, and I don't have enough time to just binge play it all day long. But next week there will be a review up for it. So
I'll be picking it up here in the next few months. So once I get the Wii U, I gotta get the Wii U first, man. I don't have the cheddar yet.
It's gonna come out on Mac, dude. Probably sooner.
Yeah, I might do that too.
But anyway, Shovel Knight, play it. Believe all the hype. It lives up to it, and I'm not one to give out such praise. Usually I'm a pretty harsh critic. River knows that.
Oh, yes, that's for sure.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us on Retro Rampage, btmreview.com. Once again, subscribe to all our channels. Subscribe to us on iTunes. That means a lot. Leave feedback, too. That helps us out a lot. And if you find yourself on the website, btmreview.com, leave feedback on there and check out all we got on there. We got, reviews on film, reviews on music, and as well as games and all that wonderful stuff. And by all means, River and I and the team, we're looking for other writers that want to contribute. If you like to blog, if you like to have an opinion and you want the world to hear about it, even if you're a complete cynical asshole, there's room for that, believe me. Go on our website, btmreview.com, go to the Contact Us section, and then follow the instructions there accordingly and reach out to us and let us see some stuff. And maybe you can have, chit chat with us on one of these things, or maybe you want to interview some folks. God knows we're only a handful of guys.
Yep.
So thanks for listening, everybody.